March 22nd, 2021, the FBI and LAPD surround NBA Youngboy in a situation that the world would never forget. The NBA Youngboy arrest was on the grounds of an outstanding federal warrant. The day he was pulled over, NBA Youngboy fled the scene and he panicked. There was a short and heated chase when he discovered he was trapped, and things quickly escalated. The police say the rapper bolted on foot, but eventually, the cops set up a perimeter, which came with lots of police and several canine dogs to track him down. The cops found a firearm in his car as well. It was unclear if the gun actually belonged to NBA Youngboy. The story continued to develop until his eventual trial in the year 2022, when he was sentenced to 7 years in prison. What is the story behind the eventful turn of events? Why was a rapper who was just beginning to enter the peak of his career snatched up by the hands of the law? Does this have anything to do with the beef of Lil Durk? That's the question. Today's video will cover everything concerning NBA Youngboy and his sentence. NBA Youngboy's drug case. As a rapper, NBA Youngboy has seen considerable success in his recent years, but along with it came lots of strings of legal cases he's had to deal with. NBA Youngboy has had a strained relationship with the law most of his career. His recent arrest came as a climax to a long battle with the law. As recent as 2020, Youngboy was busted by the cops on a drug charge in Baton Rouge. During the wide-scale investigation, the Fed seized guns and lots of cash. According to the Baton Rouge police, the FBI has received information from anonymous citizens who are concerned about certain individuals brandishing guns in an empty parking lot. According to the report, when the cops arrived at the scene, a number of young men fled on foot, and the rest were detained for questioning. The cops said they arrested 16 people, including the rapper, NBA Youngboy. They said one weapon was stolen and 2 were equipped with illegal stocks. Cops gave the anonymous tipper a shout out for calling in the tip. At the time, Jimmy Masaya, the attorney representing Youngboy, maintained that his client innocent of the charges he was arrested for. He told TMZ he was unarmed and had no illegal substances on him. The arrest sparked wild controversy as the number accused the police searched unlawfully. Despite the fact guns were found at the scene, to the attorney's relief, had not been booked for any gun charges. He was booked a week later by the East Baton Rouge police on separate drug charges. Possession of Schedule I drug manufacturing as distributed. It was unclear at the time the exact drugs that he carried, but at that point Youngboy was facing potential years. According to the Baton Rouge Police Department, it was later revealed that the police were later granted permission to examine 3 of the 7 vehicles at the scene, and they ended up recovering over 3 grams of weed and 1 dose of hydrocodone in a transparent bag. Officials uncovered more weed, digital scales, Xanax, and lots of firearms, including an AK-47, after the judge granted a search of the 4 remaining vehicles. Another 7 firearms were discovered in the grass nearby, including a stolen rifle from Texas, according to police, in addition to the drugs, which police say were packed to sell. They discovered that several of the suspects were carrying considerable sums of cash. This led the police to start thinking that something serious must have been up. According to the police, the suspects were also believed to be part of 2 street gangs. Official statement shared right after his arrest. The rep said, "It is important to remember when someone that is arrested for crime, it does not mean that they're guilty. NBA Youngboy is innocent of the crimes he was arrested for yesterday evening. He did not have any firearms, nor did he control any dangerous substances." How did this rapper find himself in this whole situation? Well, to understand how he got a federal warrant on his tail, we have to go all the way back to where it started in 2016. He did not have any firearms, nor did he control any dangerous substances. How did this rapper find himself in this situation? Well, to understand how he got a federal warrant on his tail, we have to go all the way back to where it started in 2016. In 2016, NBA Youngboy had involvement in a Baton Rouge shooting. Between that time and 2021, the rapper was arrested for quite a lot of charges, including attempted murder and domestic violence, and aggravated assault and weapons and gun charges. Youngboy Never Broke Again has a lengthy history, including drug, gun possession, as well as assault. In November 2016, U.S. Marshals arrested Youngboy in front of a concert crowd in Austin, Texas. The rapper was accused of leaping out of his car and unleashing spray bullets on a crowd on the street. He was eventually charged with 2 charges of attempted murder and several time in prison for first-degree murder. From December 2016 to August 2017, he later pled guilty to to a lesser charge of aggravated assault with a firearm and received a suspended 10-year jail sentence and 3 years of probation. 2018, Youngboy was then arrested again in front of a Tallahassee concert in February 2018 on a warrant from Georgia for apparently committing assault and weapons and violations and kidnapping. Following his arrest, hotel surveillance footage showed him assaulting his then girlfriend, Gianna, which was leaked. 1 month later, he was then released from prison with $75,000 bail. While on probation, Youngboy was involved in a shooting in Miami on May 12, 2019, in which he returned fire after a shooter in a black caddy opened fire, injuring his girlfriend and killing an innocent bystander. Though those charges for that shooting was eventually dropped. He was discovered in the company of Ben Fields and Trilogic Boomer Norman, which violated his special condition of his probation. With this violation, the judge sentenced Youngboy to 90 days in jail, which made him so he could not perform again for the next 14 months, and sends him to the house arrest for electric monitoring for the remainder of his probation. 2020, NBA Youngboy and his crew apparently assaulted a man in the garage of his studio. According to the law enforcement, the man and his girlfriend were headed to the studio to work with Youngboy. When they arrived, the security told them that no women were allowed in the studio. The girlfriend decided to leave to avoid a scene. And that's when things ended up going south. According to sources, the man beaten up upon entering the garage studio. He claimed a bag was placed over his head, and the crew beaten him super good. The assaulted man also claimed he saw Youngboy's face during all of that confusion. After the event, the man was dropped off right in front of his house. Law enforcement could not find any possible motive for the huge beatdown. Because of this, no arrest was actually made, at least until the law caught up with him the next year. Youngboy ended up deleting all of the social media platforms, including Instagram and Twitter, after the media got notice of his arrest. In September 2020, his accounts were still deactivated, and as of March 2022, he was released on $1.5 million bail. October 2021, after serving a sentence of 7 months. Now let's skip to the year 2022 of the official NBA Youngboy trial. The decision from the U.S. Judge R. Gary marked a key ruling in the rapper's favor. Prosecutors sought to use the lyrics from Youngboy's songs Gunsmoke, Life Support, and Lonely Child to prove their case. And the following Monday, prosecutors said they wanted to use the lyrics FN, Glock, Mac 10s from Gunsmoke to show alleged familiarity of knowledge of the FN. The high-end manufacturer of the gun found his car. He denies knowingly possessing it. Youngboy and his defense team successfully blocked that request, arguing in a dueling feeling the lyrics were irrelevant and could interfere with his right to his fair trial. Retrial house arrest after his release from jail in October. Youngboy has pleaded not guilty in both the California and Louisiana cases that center on essentially the same charge, that he was a felon in a possession of a firearm. Despite all the troubles he's been getting into, he's still determined to not give up on the music. If you enjoyed this video, please share this video for more and subscribe if you enjoyed.